Morning, afternoon, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. In this box, I bought an RTX 2060 for $90, and I think this might just be the best sub $100 pick you can get for, even mid-tier systems, not even budget. This GPU is really solid. Well, first, before that, we gotta, of course, open it, and this is a godsend from USPS. Okay. So the box doesn't look entirely destroyed. This is a massive USPSW. If you know me and you know OfferUp and you know USPS, it never goes well together. But so far, looks great. Nothing is teared open, nothing is stolen, I don't think. Okay, we'll lift this out of here. They really package this well. While someone else is working there, probably hired from UPS. Honestly, I even forgot what brand this CPU is. Oh, Gigabyte, nice. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take it right out of the bag. Our beautiful two-fan Gigabyte RTX 3060. Always gotta be different. Always gotta be different. Yeah, this card, for $90, this seller did a fantastic job. It's all plastic. Honestly, that's fine. I'd rather sacrifice that. But the guy cleaned it up. He even told me, tested it before he sent it to me. Also did a quick clean. It all looks great. Let's get this in my system. Whoa! Yo, what is that? That thermal pad was disgustingly dirty. It was like he had 10 generations of women hair in his middle of his card. Okay. That was a joke, by the way. So to ensure that there's zero bottleneck for this GPU and to give it all the advantage, I'm pairing it with my personal PC with a Ryzen 9 7950X overclocked to whatever it's locked at. I don't know. It's supposed to go to 5.7. It's 5.5, but I get 1400 FPS in Fortnite. Also paired with 64 gigs of DDR5, 6400 megahertz RAM, and also a Gen 4 2TB SSD. So I don't know what the problem was here, but basically I couldn't fit the card through the PCIe slot for the life of me, and I don't think it was the card, because as you can see my 2080 Ti went in just fine, but luckily I'm so much of a bum enough to own something like this. It's basically just an extension. Okay, I guess that works. I'm not keeping it in this computer anyway, so... Nice! She spins right up. See if we get a signal though. That's the biggest part. Nice. Awesome. There we go. So let's take a look here and make sure they're not pulling a Timu on me. Oh well, I can install drivers actually first. Okay, so all good here. And bada bing bada boom, RTX 2060, 6GB. Oh, it doesn't 8GB. Yeah, it's a little low for 2024. So here we are in Forza Horizon 5, one of the most demanding games I have. And we're running at the Ultra graphics preset. Not the Extreme, because Ultra looks almost the same as Extreme and for a lot better performance. And how do you downshift on a computer? And what more do you need? I wouldn't consider this like a high refresh rate experience. We're hitting about just under 100. But if you were able to get, just not lower shaders, because the GPU is running at 98% usage, but maybe some textures, messed up a little bit. You're definitely running 90 all the time, if not 100 if you turn it down enough. We have not dipped into the 70s yet, and this is ultra settings. Now the GPU is actually running surprisingly high, I think. It's running at 170 watts. By no means high, but at the same time, it's not as low as I thought it'd be for a 2060 rather. However, it is running really hot, and especially being over my fans, I'm surprised. It's running at 82 degrees right now, which is, obviously a bit over the temperature point you want to be at for a GPU. Although I can go ahead right into MSI Afterburner and turn it. Holy cow! So it's running at 94% on the fans. Even with that, it doesn't look like it's thermally throttling, so I guess I'll give it that. See how much we dip in the city, and hit 79 for a second there. 79, yeah. 72. Oh, holy cow! We're dipping into the 60s. Jeez. Wonder if we'll drop to 50. 59. Holy cow. Now, I think it's safe to say that some of us are going to be playing with 1440p on Forza. So we're gonna go ahead and see how that performs, and I can tell them it's not gonna be great. Alright, yeah, we're running 60s. So, I mean, we're running some 70s, 60s, a little mix. I turned the benchmark thing up a little bit for you guys, and yeah, it's running at 99% usage, so you get the whole thing, and 170 watts at 1440p, 60s of FPS. I mean, you're getting 60 plus FPS. I definitely can't complain in Forza. I personally like to play a little more FPS in Forza, so I would lower the settings myself. But I mean, you can definitely achieve higher FPS if you lower it down to, let's say, like medium settings. But of course, you're losing all the reflections you're seeing on screen right now. We're going off this mountain. We're going off this mountain. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead. And now we're jumping into the 50s. So I wouldn't say this is a safe 1440p card, but I would 100% agree if you just want to casually play some Forza because you're getting double than you are on Xbox, for example. GTA 5, 1080p, very high settings across the board, and 2 times MSAA. And it is running fantastic. It's freezing up here because GTA is broken, but look at that. 99% GPU usage, of course, with the 7950X, and it is running over 100 frames. And I'd be getting a little less than this with online mode because, if you guys didn't know, it's entirely CPU bound pretty much because of all the players and because GTA is horribly optimized. But story mode, this is all I can ask for. And the GPU is running much, much cooler than it was in Forza. It's running at 60 degrees, nice and cold. I mean, this is a fantastic high refresh rate experience. Then again, this game is like 10 years old at this point, so it might take just like a 600 watt microwave to run it. Okay, so 1440p, we saw almost half of the drop, about 80% are running 70s FPS, almost dropping into the 60s. That is we're dropping into the 60s. That is a significant difference. Less wattage in Forza, 150 on average, and low to high 70s to also high 60s of frame rate depending on where you are. So, but honestly, 1440p, I'd say this is a score for $90, dude. What more do you want? This is insane. We need to blow something up though. See how that works. Yeah. So after doing some damage to local citizens, we are dropping into the lower 60s. Let's see some more explosions. Yeah, we're seeing 50s FPS sometimes, just when you're blowing things up though. Honestly, this is, after using it, I take back what I said, this is definitely a fantastic experience for GTA. I think it's perfectly fine. Let's do one more check with Skyfall, and let's see if we can get a little lower than 50s. I doubt it though, I think we pretty much capped out there. Okay, so now we're playing Spider-Man Miles Morales with DLSS quality on high settings across the board, and we might be a little more CPU bound than I want because this game is absolute garbage. I love the Spider-Man franchise, except for Miles Morales. Yeah, so obviously more people in the city. You're a little more CPU bound. So obviously more people in the city, more cars, a lot more AI. You're more CPU bound, but I should be able to change that a little bit. So if you go turn down crowd density and traffic density, you probably can get a bit less. Yeah, so we're actually significantly less CPU bound. So yeah, I mean, this is insane. Again, 1080p, like I said, and we're running a high refresh rate experience here in Miles Morales. So remember, if you use this card, remember you might be a little more CPU bound than I am because I'm playing on a 7950X. All right, so let's test out 1440p, which is where I can only assume this starts to struggle. Yeah, that's a little rough. It's a little bit more of input lag. It's such a variable, the FPS with 1440p, because it has like a 20-30 range. But staying around in the 70s, dipping into the 60s, and shooting up into the 80s somehow, I'd still say this is an okay 1440p experience. But honestly, if you ask me, I would, again, especially for Miles Morales, actually, take the higher FPS. However, AMD has been kind enough to share their frame generation. And if you don't know what frame generation is, imagine that you have one frame to the left and one frame to the right. And in the middle, AI uses AI to assume what frame would be right there, essentially doubling your FPS. So if we turn that on, that's crazy. By no means are we seeing double, but that is insane, that difference. Running over 100 FPS, definitely a high refresh rate experience. In there, it's a little more inconsistent than I want. Once we get over here, ladies and gentlemen, we are running much better than we were before. Let's just check out, because why not, 1080p with frame generation on. But yeah, this, oh, holy cow, we saw 180 frames per second. This is significantly more. Yeah, so definitely use frame generation. Also, by the way, we are seeing high 70s of GPU temperature, and so it's a little warm, not as much as Forza, but it's still you know, something to keep in mind. So last and least, here we have Fortnite running at epic settings, TAA, and no nanite, no RTX, no global illumination, no reflections, and 1080p. And well, we're not going to start judging yet. So if we look up here, we're getting 200 FPS. That's actually really good for a $90 card. That's actually really good. Just remember, keep in mind this is full epic settings with no RTX, and of course, no of the extra options there. And so this is really good so far. Now the only thing is here, I'm playing at 1080p right now, and it does look a little weird playing these epic settings at 1080p. I don't know, it's just the clarity is a little off. In the inside over here, we are running under 200 FPS of course, but I mean, we're still almost maxing out 144 hertz monitor all the time. I mean, inside VR of course, but outside, let's see, yeah, we're just not seeing that. Of course, we are getting 60 plus, and I would consider this a high FPS experience, regardless. By the way, I didn't realize that shadows weren't on, and with shadows on, we're going to be a little more CPU bound, probably. Not much, actually, but yeah, we're definitely not getting even close to that 144 hertz rate. I mean, I guess if you want 60 FPS, just don't really care about the input lag that comes with it, with this particular graphics card, hey, go for it. I couldn't even see my health, dude. Alright. Honestly, now that I've played it a little bit, this is not bad at all. Let's try everything on high settings with DLSS. Yes! Yo! But the shotgun's is horrible. So, still not maxing out that 144 hertz monitor, which does stink. But let's try that with everything with shadows off. And it's a bot, okay. Yeah, and still not maxing out that monitor. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm definitely getting a little better, but nothing too crazy if you ask me. Finally, let's do medium settings, DLSS, and here we're finally getting that 144 FPS, and I think it still looks great. I always like medium settings for a little bit of medium, like fidelity and performance. I think it's good. It's a good middle ground. I think it's a good time to turn everything down to the lowest setting with no TA, even though we're probably going to be CPU bound. And we're not. We're actually not. And we're not seeing even as close to as much FPS as I would have wanted. That is disappointing. I was hoping for 240. I mean, close to 240, but we're not even hitting it. So that is a bit disappointing. I wish we were closer to that. At this point, let's also turn on 1440p. Dare I say, epic settings with, again, no global illumination or reflections. This is going to be rough. Yeah, it's exactly what this is. We're not even getting 60 FPS. Yeah, this is not the experience you want to be looking for unless you play on Switch, I guess. That's what they have DLSS for, so let's see if we can get that going. And there we go. Okay, this is definitely what we're looking for. 60 FPS, 1440p. This is awesome. Yeah, definitely go for this, guys. This is good stuff. I'm trying to get this win, though, so... Yo! How much juice does he have in that thing, dude? Okay, so for gigs and chiggles, we're playing performance mode with epic settings across the board, and looking up, and also there's a weird glitch where if you dance, you get higher FPS, so... Yeah. As you can see, we're entirely CPU... Oh, holy cow. More GPU than I would have thought. Interesting. But yeah, we're still CPU bound here in this scenario, slightly. And yeah, we're getting about 1,000 FPS, just under, maybe the 900s. So yeah, I didn't expect to be as high in terms of the usage for the GPU as that right there, but hey, still, it's for 90 bucks, and you're not gonna need more than you know, 900 FPS. Now, there's one thing we haven't talked about with this here 2060, right? Ray tracing. So Z-Worms, who I've been watching for a while. If you don't know him, he's one of the best benchmarkers. Actually, I've been watching him since 2020 and helped me get all the cards I have now. Yeah, he tested it in 1080p in Cyberpunk, and
that 2060 is dead, basically at this point.
Don't buy this if you want to do ray tracing. Yeah, it's almost impossible to trace any rays unless you have probably significantly more VRAM than this, and also DLSS at this point. But other than that, if you're just looking for casual gaming, even Forza, and even some games at 1440p like we saw GTA and Forza especially, honestly, this is a solid card, and compared to some other things that are $100 like the 1070 at this point, and maybe you can find a 3050, I would say this is the king of them all. But that brings me to the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I would recommend this card if you're looking for one under $100. And, you know, if you didn't appreciate this video, hopefully you'll appreciate the video you'll see on screen in just a moment. So, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next one. Take care.